Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Now, I have relocated. I'm in the same home. I just relocated areas. I've been, bouncing around trying to find a place that works, a place that's quiet because the kids be around. Y'all know how that is. But anyway, let's sleep now. Let's go ahead and talk about the stock market. Today was a good day. And it goes right back to the stuff I've been talking about here Monday through Friday. It actually goes back to a podcast actually released today. It's a flavor podcast with myself and Andre of the Millennials Next Door. We do a weekly segment. I think he does 2 episodes a week. We give you guys a market update to let you guys know what we're thinking. The reason I like that podcast, we are two completely different types of investors. But on that podcast, as well as Friday and Thursday, I've been telling you guys that it was more of a discount season. It wasn't really a time to panic. I didn't think the market was necessarily in crash mode. There was no real catalyst behind it. And we saw it today. Today was the best day since like October or June of 2020. And let me double check that. So the reason I say October is because Apple had its best day since October 12th of last year. I think the market had its best day since June 2020. Stocks like Square were up 4.7% today alone after being down like you're on fire on Thursday and Friday. So again, this is the stuff I'm telling y'all about when it comes to investing for the long term, and also why you should DCA. So when it was down, I just so happened to have gotten in at a low point as I'm continuously investing in stocks like Square and PayPal and others anyway. So I'm really tuning out all that noise. But it's also another buffer or another reason as to why I've been saying, don't worry about checking your account and watching how much money you're losing and making every single day. Because if I really looked at my account and saw how much I lost in Square the other day, I don't know how I would have acted. But guess what? I didn't look because I didn't have to. All I had to do was hit buy because it was Friday and it just happened to do whatever it was going to do on Friday. And that's it. That's it. I believe it's a good company, and that's not just Square. I just know it was down like probably one of the biggest over the last few days. I have no idea what's going to happen on Tuesday. It could be good. It could be worse. Who knows? But again, it's all about having that consistent process. I always like doing these videos because I know that it's still fresh in your mind, even though this time last year, it's not fresh in most people's minds, which is why they reacted to that the way that they did. This time last year, March 1st, it was worse, a whole lot worse. Remember, everything was crashing from February all the way down to like March 17th. And that was like the end of the crash. None of us really knew it at the time because it was so far to climb back. We were down like 37%. But again, that was the time to look for discounts, to look for deals, to look for quality companies, and to continue your investing process, which you should have. I did a video. If you put in 21-day Q&A, put the hashtag in, especially on Facebook, should pop up on Instagram too, but definitely on Facebook. If you pull it up, you'll see the entire series. And one of those was about strategy and why it is so important to have an investing strategy, investing philosophy, because it helps you to stay focused and it gives you a process, a repeatable process that no matter what happens, you're doing step 1, 2, and 3, and then you get success. The market's going to change. The market's going to do what it's due. You're going to come back and do steps 1, 2, and 3 in the exact same order, and you're going to continue to put yourself in a successful position. When you don't have a strategy, you look left, you look right, and you just do stuff because you see everybody else doing stuff. And the problem is when you're looking at other people doing stuff and you don't have a strategy, that's how you get burned because you don't know what their strategy is. That's the problem. We've got people that say, look, I invested in airlines. They made or lost money. They invested in energy or electric vehicle stocks or whatever's hot, the cannabis industry, but you don't know their strategy. If you don't know their strategy or that they're not clear, and they don't have to be clear because you're not their client or anything, nor and they may not be licensed, so it doesn't matter. So they have their own process, but when you don't know it, you just see what they do. You don't know how much of their money is in it. You have no idea if they're in it for short term, for long term. You just have no idea, which is why you have to have your own. So go back and check that video if you want to learn different types of strategies that are out there. You guys know mine. I'm a long-term investor. I choose companies that have momentum. I choose companies that have the backing of real money, which means not necessarily Warren Buffett. When I look and I see institutional money is going into this company, my money is probably going to go in that company. I also want to see that it's moving faster than the market is. We're not right 100% of the time, but we're right more often than we're not. We hold for 6 months or a year, depending on how you want to invest, and we come back and reevaluate. When we reevaluate, we say, did you beat the market? Yes or no? The answer is no, you gotta go. If you did, you continue on to the next round. And if you're a stock like Apple, you're gonna be around for a while, right? If you're a stock like, a Google, or hopefully what I think Square will be. Square is new for me. We'll see. So that's how my process works. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people say it's too simple. Some people say it's not. Whatever. That's up to them. Your boy's making money. But aside from all of that, I also have a trading strategy. We'll get into that. That's a whole different thing about for my short term. If I'm in something for 3, sometimes 4 weeks, how do I gauge what point I get in, what point I get out? Again, it comes into play. What am I doing? How is that process? And is it repeatable? That is the most important thing. What you don't want to do is get out here and gamble and say, oh, I just put money in this thing. It worked. Let me go try it again with something else. And then things don't work out that way. When you don't have a process, you can't repeat it. When you can't repeat it, you can't build wealth. It's as simple as that. But again, this all goes back to that process. It all goes back to the stuff I've been telling y'all. I just love to, when it happens in real life, to just bring it and say, look, what we talk about works, okay? Being still works. I told you guys the other day, not every time, 6 out of, depending on how you want to look at it, 60 to 70% of the time, when we have our worst day in the market, the best day in the market comes within 2 weeks. We just saw this because the headline was worst day since, I don't know, October 2020. And now the weekend has passed, it's Monday, and now best day since June 2020. This happened last year. In fact, I showed you guys that slide where it literally happened within about 2 weeks this time last year. So again, don't forget those lessons. Don't have such a short memory when it comes to the stock market. Stay calm, stick to your strategy, and you're going to be okay. The longer you invest, the higher your chances are of making a profit. All right, so that is it for me today. I've got some really cool things that we're planning content-wise this week and in the next few weeks. There will be some updates on the book. If you don't know, if you're new here, I'm writing a book on the Tulsa Race Massacre. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we talk about the history, and then also talk about building Black generational wealth, which I think is extremely important when we talk about that event specifically. So this year, it happened in 1921. This year is 2021, so it's the 100th year commemoration of that event. So it's a really personal project for me. I think something that can educate and change lives. So stay tuned to that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.